What's up, guys? Will Brooks here with another session of the Thoughts Out Loud Experiments, aka The Toll. And this is episode 57 of The Toll, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm actually doing it live. I'm not doing it on YouTube as I normally do, and I'm doing it live on Facebook through a Facebook Live broadcast as well. So forgive me if it gets a little, if you see my eyes wandering back and forth. Actually, the eyes wandering is not nothing new. You're also going to hear my co-host, my refrigerator in my office in the background a little bit. That's going to drop off in a couple of seconds. But yeah, if you're joining us on Facebook Live or joining me on Facebook Live and you haven't heard of the Thoughts Out Loud Experiments before, it's something that I started because I was having a hard time pursuing my entrepreneurship goals. And so I just try to do something a little bit different to kind of like, I wanted to start like the daily blogs, like, or the daily diaries actually. And that was my goal, like just to start actually doing a journal and talking about my goals from yesterday, how things went yesterday, my goals for the day, how things went that day, and then what I got planned for tomorrow. And in my head, I said, you know what, it's better since I'm trying to do like actual live content, or since I'm trying to do video content, audio content, I don't want to sit and write my thoughts into a book. I want to go ahead and do them like on video. And so at first I started off doing video that only I was going to have access to. And I said, well, it's not really the same. I can be real comfortable on camera. Hey, what's up? What's up? So is that Mr. Huang? What's going on? How you doing? So anyway, I started off doing them on, like, I was going to do video that only I was going to have access to, but that doesn't have the same effect. That I wanted to do something like bigger, something that's going to be out there, so I am in the same situation. So I started Thoughts Out Loud, maybe it's been about 3 months now, and I just sit there, turn the camera on, and just say what comes to mind on camera, talk about my wins from yesterday, wins from previous day, wins over the weekend, and then go into what my goals are for the day. Today's going to be a little bit different as we come to the end of the first quarter of the year. I had a lot of goals set this year, but I realized after going back and reading my goals and actually reading up on goal setting that my goals weren't specific enough. Like they're like my goals are a cloud like hovering over my head. Like they're not that defined. And, so I wanted to go ahead and define my goals, both for myself, both for Soul Weaver. If you haven't heard of Soul Weaver, it's my little corner of the internet where I share information about life in Korea. And I do so with my podcast, my YouTube channel, and my blog. And all that happens, all that's kind of working out. It's gotten a lot better in the first quarter of this year. I was real dodgy with it last year. I did things, I came up with these schedules just off the top of my head, try to put them in place. It didn't really happen the way I wanted them to. But I guess as I got to the end of last year, I said, okay, I really, there's a bunch of jackassery in 2016. Let me go ahead and jump on and really get serious about this thing. Because if I want to do it, if I'm going to be spending my time doing it, I want to do it to the fullest effect. So I set some pretty basic goals at the beginning of this year, and they were a little beyond what I was capable of doing. Not what I was capable of doing, but they were a little bit out there, right? They were a little bit far out. And I said, you know what, let me go ahead and just set my goals as far out as I can. If I fall short, I fall short of something that's far out. And it wasn't until the last couple of weeks that I realized, man, my goals really aren't that set. They really aren't that defined. And I really need to kind of jump in there and further define them, make them a little bit more distinct. And so like the goals I had like right now are like grow your YouTube channel or grow your podcast and meet your goals of consistency and stay on schedule. And all that's been able to happen. But it was something that seemed extremely hard last year. And after the first quarter of this year, it's like, man, that wasn't even hard. I just wasn't doing it. I just didn't have the goal. I didn't have the drive to make it happen, in 2016. So now that I've got my mindset, like, okay, 2017, we don't miss any podcast episodes. It's supposed to be once a week. Podcast once a week that post every Thursday, that shouldn't be that hard. And it isn't. It's just me not planning things out. So now that I got things a little more worked up, I want my goals to be a little more defined. And this is a good example that just occurred to me as I'm setting these things, or as I was setting everything up. I used to play WoW. I'm gonna nerd out on you guys for a little bit because I'm just gonna let you know, let you into a glimpse of my life of what it was a few years ago. So I used to play WoW like from '07 to 2009. And I played like hardcore. Like I raided, I got into it. I did like theory crafting. If you don't know what WoW is, it's World of Warcraft. It's an online video game where people's like whole lives get like sucked into the game. But I was just thinking about like how good or how much effort I put into playing WoW. Like I did it to a scale that was like I was like the number 2 rogue in my guild type thing. Like I used to just really try to my character, used to just really try to define my character and really set everything up. And I had like real goals for my character. And I don't mean goals like my like cloudy goals that I have right now, right? Grow my YouTube channel, grow my podcast. I had like defined goals. Like I knew which each stat had to be at a certain level to be able to fight this boss. I knew which gear would get that stat up. I knew which enchants would get that stat up. I used to go to a thing called Thoughtbot and like really grind and like compare gear. I'd spend hours and hours not even playing the game, just thinking. It's just, we called it theory crafting back then. And that's the same kind of effort I need. It was pretty amazing because I knew like 3 like different avenues to get to that goal that I wanted. Since you know exactly what you were shooting for, it was easy to get. It was easy to obtain because you knew exactly how you wanted this item from this boss. You went to this raid over and over again until you got that item. Then you knew which enchant you could do. If you couldn't get that item, you knew which other item to go get and try to enchant to get up to the point where you could be in a position to get in that item. And I want my goals for my business or my projects, whatever I want to call Soul Weaver right now, I want my goals to be that defined, that crisp. And so I'm going to spend the rest of the week working on getting them up to that level, to that standard, that extent. So now comes the hard part because I have to figure out what that is. I mean, let's be honest. I don't even really know what co-host is back. I don't really know what my stats are, what stats I need to chase for YouTube to grow my YouTube channel, right? Like I don't know the equivalent of what I need to do. All I know in my head is that I need to post consistently and like improve my content constantly and like create things that people are interested in, but I don't know exactly how to go about that roadmap. I'm just going to chase consistency with YouTube. Same deal on my podcast. I'm just going to chase consistency on my podcast, try so hard to pursue exactly what I'm doing or pursue exactly what I want to do with the podcast, share information about Korea through audio content. And so it's just going to require me to do a lot more on my end as far as reaching out to people, doing like finding different ways to grow my podcast, finding ways to collab. And all that does require like me stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's not like WoW where I'm sitting at my desk, clicking away with a beer in my hand and just doing whatever it is I do, but like completely pursuing that goal and getting consumed with it like I was with the theory craft of it all. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Like I'm going to be spending the next few days doing exactly that. So the reason I jumped on Facebook Live to talk about this, and the reason I'm talking about it now is because I kind of want you guys to hold me accountable. Like come back, ping me, and say, hey, what did you find out what your goals are? Because I want to do this. I want to have my goals set. I want to have like smart goals, like real goals, by the time the end of the quarter actually hits. And so, I don't have my phone. It's 27th here in Korea, the 27th of March now. By March 31st. By April 1st, I want to have like a real set goals. I want to have the same goals I had when I played WoW, right? I want to have that version of that for Soul Weaver. So yeah, that's about all I got. That's what I want to do. So if you guys have any ideas, if you guys have set goals on your end, let me know what they are. Let me know how you set them. And I don't mean like, and if you got like hazy goals, if you have a goal in your mind, or if you have something so general that you can't really pin it down to a strategy, add a strategy to it, then that's not exactly what I'm talking about. You can go ahead and let me know. Tell me what they are. But like seriously, I need like examples of like distinct goals, like examples of goals that you will see like for real that you can actually strategize around numbers. And I don't know, like, do you want to grow like me? Do I want to grow my YouTube to 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers in at the end of the year, or 10,000 subscribers? I don't even know what's reasonable in year one. Same with the podcast. How many subscribers do I want on my podcast, or do I want to have certain amount of rates and reviews on my podcast? All that. Like, if you guys podcast, if you YouTube, if you share information, if you blog, let me know what your goals are for 2016. Excuse me, 2017. Let me know what they were for 2016 if you had them, and let me know what strategy you implemented to go ahead and pursue those goals. So yeah, let me know in the comments, man. I really am curious. I really am looking for help. I'm not looking to tell you guys how to do it. I'm actually just documenting the process I'm following, and if you please be a part of that process and go ahead and make suggestions, like help me out, because I don't have all the answers. I'm shooting from the hip. So that's all I got today, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, head to work. If you don't know what the Thoughts Out Loud experiment is, or if this is your first time seeing the Thoughts Out Loud experiment, it's part of my daily routine, or I try to make it part of my daily routine and do it every morning. Got to wake up a little bit earlier to do it. I don't know how often I'm going to do this Facebook Live version of it. So head on over to All Things Will on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more, and give this video a like if you liked it. And we'll see you tomorrow on the next Thoughts Out Loud. Thanks so much. And then this is the worst part of Thoughts Out Loud, because my computer goes to sleep because I'm doing it longer than what I'm supposed to do, and I have to find the stop button.